Hey guys, welcome back to Ava's Curly Girl Lessons. So in the past, oftentimes people have always talked about how thick my hair is, and if I'm being honest, when it comes to hair density, I do feel like genetics does play a role in that, but I am going to share with you what has worked for me in not only maintaining thick hair, but then in also intentionally wanting to create thick hair. For me, if I'm being honest, it is doing low retention styles. So an example of a low retention style is I would get full sew-ins where all of my hair is protected. And most times when I got a full sew-in, it would either be a style with bangs, because I always liked for my hair to look the most natural. So it would either be a full sew-in with bangs, or it would be something like a bob. And I always, anytime I did a short style or most times when I did a style with bangs, I would always use fake hair and not use my hair because I was really big on retaining length. But this is not a length retention video. This is for a hair density video. And I will give you some tips as to what I have used in the past that has worked for me long term. So first, I will say when I think I was maybe 21 years old when I first got my first bottle of Saw Palmetto. And I'll definitely put a link in the description below from Amazon connecting you to Saw Palmetto. There are benefits of taking that herbal supplement for men and women alike, but essentially Saw Palmetto has DHT blockers, which helps promote hair growth. And when you are incorporating that with a low retention protective style, it definitely helps with creating thicker hair. So that's two pieces of advice. My next one would be incorporating, depending on your hair type, I highly recommend using black Jamaican castor oil. I'm not sure if you've seen other videos who said the same thing, but someone shared that with me, and so I'm sharing it with you. I haven't used black castor oil in quite some time, but I actually am going to get back to using it because I was also using that around the age of 21 also, where I did notice a great deal of hair growth and hair density, which was really nice. Let's see. I will also add in there that I was finger detangling around that time, between around 21, 22. I had switched from using a wide tooth comb. I wasn't using any brush. The only thing I used a wide tooth comb for was really for parting, and I focused on finger detangling. Finger detangling does take longer than using a tool. However, I feel like that also helped with me retaining length, and it also helped me with hair density. So when it comes to length retention, I would recommend protective styling, like styles that to where you don't have to mess with your hair for anywhere from 1 to 3 months. Now, I feel like the conversation has changed. People are now saying, oh no, wash your hair once a week or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, this is news. This is news. This is new. This is not what the girls was talking about when I was 21, 22. I don't know why they're changing it. I do understand the importance of cleansing your scalp, making sure you don't have product buildup. However, you can wash your hair with braids, twists, faux locks. you can wash your scalp with these protective styles. Even with the full sew-in, you can wash your scalp to a certain degree. But I think the most important thing is leaving your hair alone. I'm telling you, the best thing about those long-term styles is that you don't think about your hair length. You don't think about your hair density. It's kind of like you don't actually have to think about your hair. You wake up, you shower, you do your natural skin routine, you get ready for your day, and at the very most, if you have a full sew-in, you might have to straighten your hair, maybe throw a curl or two in there. I mean, if you have a protective style like faux locks or braids or twist, all you have to do is either throw it in a ponytail, a bun, or you can leave it down. So simple styles like that, I feel like make it easier for your hair to grow, because the only keep up is really oiling your scalp, making sure your scalp isn't drying out or getting flaky, especially as the seasons are changing, and making sure that your hair gets cleaned when it needs it. I haven't used Botana oil. I've heard good things, but I encourage you to do your own review. And that is a product that I do plan on using in the near future when it comes to my new hair growth goal and challenge, so to speak, because you guys know I am hopefully moving into that era where I'm able to grow my hair naturally to tailbone length. So I'm definitely going on this. Currently in a heatless journey, but on top of being heatless, I'm also going to most likely stick to protective styling and low retention styles, just because I find that it's easier for my hair to grow and remain its nice density. So we will see what happens. You know, I find that my hair does better when I don't think about it. So that's not really a big focus for me, but at the same time, I will be incorporating that saw palmetto also, because I personally feel like it's important to make sure that you have the right things inside your body that you also put on your skin, on your scalp, or on your hair. So definitely be mindful of all of those things. And yes, I'm gonna run through the list one last time. That way you are fully aware of all the things for density and hair retention. First is saw palmetto, and that is something you take orally. And then I would also recommend using some kind of hair growth serum or hair growth oil. If you have seen my previous videos, I do have a hair growth oil that does have a DHT blocker response based off of the products I incorporated in it. So taking something internally that helps promote that, but also putting something topically on your scalp, I find is also good. So that's up for you to decide, but that is my recommendation, a hair growth serum to match what you're taking orally. And then Jamaican black castor oil, especially if your hair type is anywhere in the 3s or 4s, like 3A all the way to like 4C, I highly recommend taking or using Jamaican black castor oil on your ends. They help seal your ends to protect them from splitting, and even on your scalp, if that's something that you wouldn't mind doing, if it's not too thick for you. Let's see, we got number 4, protective styling. 5, finger detangling. And those are my best recommendations. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Between the ages of 21 going into 22, I did a lot of protective styling. I definitely got a couple of sew-ins. I think they were full sew-ins too. One might have been a natural sew-in, but I'm really a big fan of sew-ins because nothing's better than some braids under a nice, straight, curly do of your choosing. Honestly, it is the easiest and best feeling to have to just wake up and not have to think about your hair. So that is one of my favorites. I have in the past, I would say from 2020 to 2023, I went on a hiatus from doing everything but protective styling with like faux locks, twists, and braids from 2020 to 2023, which is why I was so excited and super happy when I got my hair straightened and got my my ends clipped from a professional. Because 3 years doing like, I can tell you, I blow dried my hair 4 times a year from 2020 to 2023. I focused mainly on just like protective styling, like set it and forget it type of thing. You know, if you go to a beautician, that they always say, oh, clip your ends. I think they say clip your ends once every 3 months. Let me be the first one to tell you, if you're supposed to get an inch of they say, this is what they say, I don't know how true it is, that has not been my experience, but they say your hair is supposed to grow a ½ inch every month. That's what they say. I'm going to say that beauticians typically say, oh, you're supposed to clip your ends once every 3 months. I will tell you that from 2023, I barely dusted my ends. Like, I believe in getting my ends clipped once a year or as needed. Let me explain. So I believe in getting my ends clipped once a year. Do not, please stop clipping your ends once every 3 months. Like, it sounded like blasphemy when I heard it when I was younger, but the older I got, the more I realized, I'm like, what are they cutting really? If you're not doing high retention styles every 2 weeks, if you're not putting heat on your hair, you know what I'm saying, a couple times a week, or, you know, if you're not experiencing that type of styling, then it's not necessary to clip your ends so often. Honestly, I'm almost certain that in beauty school, they teach you that that's how often you're supposed to get your ends clipped. I'm gonna be the first person to tell you, do not do that. I believe in getting a serious clip, like getting your ends clipped intentionally to get dead ends completely gone from a professional at least once a year. And if you are not going to get them done by a professional, then I recommend dusting your ends. And to me, dusting your ends is literally just cutting a 1/4 inch of your hair in like a blow dried state. You don't have to straighten your hair to do this. I believe in literally pulling your hair after you blow dry it, getting to the ends, looking at how they look, and then maybe dusting off a little bit if there is some split ends or fairy knots or anything crazy. So that's what I recommend, because that's what I've done in the past. Honestly, it's what works. Like, it's what works. Sometimes people might not be experiencing retention when it comes to their hair growth because they're cutting off all the new, like, they're cutting off everything they've retained. And part of the reason might be because you're not caring for your ends as much as you should. The longer your hair, the older your ends. The older your ends, the more you have to protect them. Your ends are the oldest, driest part of your hair. So you have to protect them, moisturize them, give them treatments, make sure that they're oiled and sealed. That's why I recommended the Black Jamaican Castor Oil. Do that and you will start to see hair growth and hair retention. And if you follow all the steps I share with you in this video, I'm almost certain that you will be happy with the advice I'm offering. It's not going to be overnight. I'm going to tell you, it is not going to be overnight. In the past, I have done the inversion method where you massage your scalp and then you tilt your head upside down for, I don't know, sometimes I said anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes before you go to sleep. Honestly, I tried it for 2 weeks, and this was also back in my early 20s. It didn't work. It did not work. And now that I'm doing headstands all the time and doing yoga and a lot of inversions, I don't know how true that inversion method thing is, but I just know when I was in my early 20s, that inversion, massaging your scalp, hanging upside down, it did not work for me. Everyone else's experience may be different. I know they said that blood flow to the follicles helps stimulate hair growth. Drinking a lot of water, making sure that you're eating nutrient-dense meals also helps. But that's just been my experience with the inversion method. I'm sharing with you what works, what people have used that they said have worked, and what hasn't necessarily worked. So, I mean, honestly, try it for yourself and see what happens, because I definitely measured my hair. They say you're supposed to measure your hair so you can know before, after, to know for sure. Honestly, you have to see for yourself. Don't let my experience with my inversion test in my early 20s determine what you try or don't try. This video, I feel like, is already getting a little bit too long, so I'm going to bring it to a close. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely use my tips. Honestly, I will only offer the best advice. I've done a lot of research over the years. Honestly, since I've been natural, I've been obsessed with doing research when it comes to hair porosity, hair types, the best state in which your hair can grow. I know that everyone now is talking about washing your hair once a week. Do what you want. I believe in doing what works, what has worked in the past. Though they say things change, they are not the same. Like I said before, you can wash your hair in any of those protective styles. So do whatever speaks to you. But I'm definitely just sharing with you what worked for me in the past, even though I'm going to be changing it up and doing what I've done many years ago, because I haven't done that in a while. I definitely really am feeling like getting a sew in. So yes, please use my advice. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Not for weekly content, but for bi-weekly content. And if you don't get it bi-weekly, I can promise you that my goal for this page is to post twice a week. If you haven't, please check out my Avani Balance Me Yoga page, as well as You Are What You Think TV. I do yoga on one page, and on the other, I give really good advice and tips from life lessons that have served me well on my journey through healing, through mindfulness, especially as a yogi. And so until next time, everyone, be well, and thank you for joining me.